Hello students, welcome to our today lecture. In our today lecture, we are going to discuss about average and marginal propensity to consume and save. First, we will discuss about their formulas, then definition, and then we will calculate all of these one by one numerically with the help of a table and some numerical values. First of all, we will discuss that what is mean by average propensity. Average propensity to consume is equals to consumption divided by disposable income, and average propensity to save is equals to saving divided by disposable income. As we discussed earlier that disposable income is equals to saving plus consumption. So it means that APC plus APS is equals to 1. Either we consume or either we save, so definitely the whole answer will be equals to 1, which is equals to our total income. And marginal propensity to consume is equals to MPC, which is delta sign is showing change in consumption divided by change in disposable income. Similarly, MPS is showing marginal propensity to save, change in saving divided by change in disposable income, or we can read it as change in saving due to change in disposable income. As we know that disposable income is equals to saving plus consumption, so change in disposable income is equals to change in saving plus change in consumption, and this will allows that MPC plus MPS equals to 1. So now let's discuss these formulas and these definition theoretically. Average propensity to consume is a fraction of total income consumed. The average consumption which we consume from our income. And average propensity to save is a fraction of total income saved. So APC is equals to consumption divided by income, and APS is equals to saving divided by income. So the APC plus APS is equals to 1. Now let's discuss about marginal propensity to consume is a proportion of a change in income consumed. Marginal propensity to save means is a proportion of change in income that is being saved. And MPC is equals to change in income, change in consumption divided by change in income, and MPS is equals to change in saving or change in income. And both of these will give us our total income. As I have discussed these earlier, so I am not going in detail what is mean by marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save. But on a shorter note, let's recall that MPC shows that the change in consumption due to change in income, and MPS shows that the change in saving due to change in income. So here we have three columns. First is showing disposable income, second is showing consumption, and the third column is showing saving. In first row we have our disposable income, which is $370, and our consumption is $375. So when we subtract income with consumption, it will give us saving. Our income is 370 and our consumption is 375. So when we subtract consumption from income, 370 minus 375, it will give us minus 5. So it is showing that this saving, we have to borrow 5 rupees from someone else in order to meet this gap or in order to fulfill this gap. At this point our income and consumption both are equal, so our saving is 0. At this point our income is 410 and our consumption is 405. So when we subtract 410 from 45, it will give us 5. So at this point we are saving $5. At this point our total income is 430 and our consumption is 420. So when we subtract 420 from 430, it will give us 10 rupees and or $10, and it is goes on. Now let's discuss about average propensity to consume, average propensity to save, MPC and MPS. As it, from previous slide we have already calculated the saving. We have calculated saving by this formula, income minus consumption. So we have calculated all of these value in our previous slide. Average propensity to consume is equals to consumption divided by income. So the consumption is 375 and the income is 370. So when we divide 375 with 370, it will give us average propensity to consume. Similarly, when we divide 390 with 390, it gives us also average propensity to consume and goes on. So average propensity to consume can be calculated by dividing consumption with disposable income. Similarly, average propensity to save can be calculated by dividing saving with our disposable income. We have to divide 5 with 370 and it will give us average propensity to save, or APS. Similarly, when we divide 0 with 390, it will give us 0.00 and so on. So when we have to calculate APS, we have to divide saving with disposable income. The next one is marginal propensity to consume. As we discussed earlier, that marginal propensity to consume is equals to change in consumption due to change in income. So the change in income from this point to this point is 15, and change in income from this point to this point is 20. So when we divide 15 by 20, it will give us MPC. And similarly, from this point to this point, the change is 15, and from this point to this point, the change in disposable income is 20. So we have to divide 15 with 20 and will give us MPC and goes on. For the calculation of marginal propensity to save, we have to divide change in saving by change in disposable income. So from here to here, change is 0 minus 5. We have to subtract this value from this value, new minus current. So 0 and then minus of the formula and then this minus. So it will give us positive 5. So we have to divide 5 with 20 and it will give us 0.25. Similarly, for calculating MPS, for the third unit, we have to subtract this value from this. 5 minus 0, it will give us 5, and the change in income is 410 minus 390 is 20. So we have to divide 5 with 20 and it will give us 0.25. So and goes on. And when we add MPC plus MPS, it will give us equals to 1. As we discussed earlier, that we have only two options: either we have to consume or either we have to save. If we have only answer of MPC and we have to calculate MPS, we can calculate it easily, because this MPC and MPS should be equals to 1. So when the MPC is 0.75, so it definitely means that MPS equals to 0.25. We have to subtract this value from 1, as MPS plus MPC equals to 1. So we will take this value to the other side of the equation and we have to subtract 1 minus 0.75 and it will give us 0.25. So this is the numerical value or the table method to calculate MPC, MPS, APC and APS. So this is the graph for income and consumption which we have discussed earlier, that this point is showing that where saving is 0. Why saving is 0? Because at this point income and consumption are equal. We have consumed each penny of our income, and this part is showing this saving, which is this minus 5, as our consumption is greater than our income. So this area is showing, you can say, this minus 5, and at this point income and consumption are 0. Income and consumption are equal, so at this point saving is 0. So 390 is our income and our consumption is also 390, so the saving is 0. So that part is showing our saving is 0. And after this point there is a income is saving is positive, so these all values can be drawn after this area when the income is greater than consumption.